going to get started today just in a simple seated. So feel free to take a seat on your mat, laying yourself out somewhere that feels rejuvenating. Maybe you have a beautiful view, maybe smells or sounds around you that are comforting and soothing to your heart, to your soul, to your spirit. And then when you feel ready, we're just going to scoot ourselves around and come into a child's pose to begin there. The toes can come together, the knees can come wide or together, whatever feels right. Pressing the heart down between the legs, allowing the wrists to lift and the fingertips to press into the mat if that feels right. Maybe you take the hands in a prayer position at the back of the neck. Maybe you allow the fingertips to come long, extending the hands open wide. An act of surrender and also a place to receive. As you lay here in child's pose, I want you to just begin to initiate the deep belly breath, expanding. The inhale, the belly expands between the legs. You can feel that tangibly here. And then as you exhale, deflating, pushing the air away out your mouth as if fogging up a window pane, allowing the air to come back up on your face in this child's pose. Getting acquainted with how it feels to be tangible in the breath. We spend so much of life hurrying in the rush, the busyness. And yet this season of life has given us a giant pause button. When you feel ready for movement, I want you just to simply let those fingertips crawl over to the right side of the mat. Staying there if you wish. Maybe the left hand comes on top of the right, pulling that left shoulder away from the ear down toward the hip, just creating a lot of length there on the left side. So we have this opportunity to pause, but in the pause, there's this discomfort that arises. Oftentimes it's the pause that allows us to see or hear or feel our grief, our pain, our loss. Gently and slowly walk those fingertips over back to neutral, and then take the right hand out and then weave it underneath, setting the right cheek and the right shoulder onto the mat, really allowing some space between that right shoulder and right cheek, making sure that you're long in the neck, and then maybe the left fingers walk over to the right side of the mat, creating a lot of depth in the twist here. So today we're going to be just wringing out some of those things as we attune our hearts and our bodies to what we're feeling and experiencing in this pause. This unprecedented time of quarantine. This time where we're kind of forced to let go and release some of the things that maybe kind of kept us feeling numb, or maybe in some ways the things that just kept us unaware of what was really going on deeper in our heart. Coming back to neutral child's pose in your time, your way. Rejuvenating the breath, and then on the next inhale, slowly walk those fingers over to the left side. Maybe the right hand comes atop the left, maybe not. Either way, the right shoulder pulls away from the ear, getting closer to the hip, just elongating that right side body. Not easy. Never holding the breath, even if we're holding a posture. And then when you feel right, just go ahead and allow those fingers to walk to neutral. Take the left hand out to the side, slowly weave it under, same posture, opposite side. Right fingertips may or may not kind of just tiptoe over to the left side of the mat. So today I want you to give your body permission to make choices that feel right in your skin. Regardless of what I'm doing here, I want you just to listen to the needs of your body, attune your heart to where you're at today, to check in and then align your movement with what your body's craving and asking for. Coming back to neutral when it feels right, untucking those hands, staying in this child's pose just for a few deep breaths. So we have this space to pause, and in the pause we notice this grief that arises. For most of us, it feels like this deep grief of just letting go of what was familiar, how we knew life would be, and walking in the uncertainty of, will we ever know life that same way again? I invite you to join me up in tabletop whenever your body feels ready for it. Stacking the wrists below the shoulders, the knees below the hips. Begin to arch the back. The gaze may come high, the shoulders peel back. And while the belly drops, the navel is simultaneously pulling up toward the spine on the inhale. Exhale, chin to chest, round the spine, get tall as a cat. Arching the back, maybe shaking the head yes and no, relieving any tension in the neck. Inhaling back to cow, kind of finding a rhythm here with the inhales and exhales. Exhale to cat. Holding the posture, never the breath. And then slowly allowing your hands to just come a little bit in front of you. Let your hips come in line with your shoulders, and then drop your hips down a little further. Maybe you just need a cobra. You deep bend in the elbows and come down to your belly a little more. Maybe you stay here, kind of a modified up dog, letting your hips just hang to the floor, pulling the navel toward the spine, protecting that low back. Perhaps you press into the tops of the feet, coming to full up dog if you're ready for that today. Lots of options here. The only requirement is the breath. And then shifting back in your time to child's pose. This is a posture of rest. If at any point in the practice you need rest or just a place to pause for yourself, you can always come here. I invite you to listen and notice what your body needs. When it does feel right, simply shift back up to tabletop and then extend the hips, sending the hips high to the heavens. Coming to downward facing, walking the feet out. Taking the right foot back, hooking the right big toe and second toe around the left heel. Inhale first. Exhale, push that heel down toward the earth. Deep experience in the back of that leg. Switching it up whenever you feel ready. Left big toe and second toe come around the back of the right heel. Exhale, press it down. Noticing the sensation in the backs of the legs as you open up. Not easy. Coming to neutral whenever it feels right. Maybe you walk it out a little bit. Perhaps you even allow your feet to come just about as wide as your mat. If you want to shorten your stance, you can bring your hands back just a little bit. And then take your right hand, hook it around the left ankle, maybe the left shin. Perhaps just kind of down on the left floor if that feels better. Inhale first. As you exhale, bend into that elbow, pulling yourself into the twist. Inhale out of it, and then in your time, your way, you're going to slowly move to the opposite side. The left hand comes to right outside of the leg. Maybe the ankle, maybe the calf, maybe just the floor. Twisting it out, bending that elbow. Deep twist here. So we're wringing out those things that have bubbled up in us, that have come to the surface now that we've been in this pause season. Coming high to the tippy toes and down. High to the tippy toes once again, just feeling the movement. Simple, slow movement, how it changes and shifts your experience. And then slowly walk your feet to the top of your mat. Fold it out, exhale, inhale, halfway lift. Maybe the hands come to the shins or the floor. Exhale, fold it out. Slowly inhale, bend the knees and roll it all the way up to standing. Reach the hands high, exhale, bring the hands to heart center. Press your thumbs in. Just notice the experience of your heart rate. What is it telling you about where your body's at as we check in here? Gotta work. So your body needs a pause. It needs a check-in. Hands come down. Inhale. We're going to reach high once again. This time the thumbs are going to come together, the fingers wide into a butterfly, and then hinge to the left. Pulling the shoulders away from the ears. Just feeling that right side body long. Inhale up. Exhale to the right. Good. So getting acquainted with the sides of the body. Inhale back up through center. As you exhale, hands come through heart center all the way back down. Forward fold. Exhale. Inhale, halfway lift your way. Maybe the hands come to the shins. The navel pulls up toward the spine. Exhale, bow out. Good. When it feels right, extend the right toes straight back. Deep flexion in the foot. Keeping the entire leg alive and active here. Exhale slowly, let that right toe come back. The left toes kind of come right underneath so the heel and the knee are in line on the left foot, and extend yourself up into crescent lunge. You always have the option to drop that right knee if that feels better. Maybe the hands extend, maybe they come into prayer position at the base of the neck, opening the front of the arms. Your choice, your way. Inhale, hands come up. Exhale, hands come open. The right hand comes forward. The left hand comes back. A gentle twist here. Maybe you gaze over the back fingertips. Maybe you don't. Make choices that work for your body today. The right knee may come down. Just finding what works. No wrong way here. Coming up and opening it up into Warrior Two. If you want to stay on that back knee, you can. Finding a modified version of Warrior Two. Or standing up tall, making sure that that left knee is back enough that you can see the left big toe, and then turn the palms up. Inhale, straighten the front leg and reach it back. Trying to stay strong in the core, not dumping into that back arm, but really staying tall and strong. Inhale up. Exhale, the left arm comes to the top of that leg, and you just kind of extend the right hand high, side angle. Maybe the left fingertips drop toward the mat, maybe not. Not easy. When it feels right, when milling that right hand down, turning yourself back into a crescent lunge, hands on either side of the leg, and then just lifting the left leg back, coming into plank or modified plank. Inhale first. Exhale, elbows straight, come straight back, heart leads, coming all the way down, maybe to cobra. If it feels right, all the way into upward facing dog. From here, take the knees wide, the hips move back, coming to child's pose. So here's the thing about finding ourselves in this pause. And while you're here, maybe you just weave the hands through the legs, bringing one cheek to the mat, releasing any tension in the back. So in this pause, we find ourselves grieving what was familiar. And all of us, no matter your story, no matter who you are, we're wired to prefer familiar. Even if it's unhealthy, even if it's toxic, even if it's hurtful, we tend to the familiar, all of us. So being in a space where our familiar feels taken from us can be quite uncomfortable. Staying here as long as you need. If your body's desiring more movement, come back up into down dog. Pedal into the feet. We're going to work through that sequence on the other side. So go ahead and take the toes, wrap them around the back of the heel. Inhale. Exhale, push the heel down. Get long in the back of the legs. Opposite side whenever you're ready, switching the heels, just noticing the opening. Good, and then when you're ready, coming back to that neutral down dog, taking the feet as wide as the mat, moving back into that twist so the left hand comes around the outside of the leg. Inhale first. Exhale, bend the elbow, twist it out. So whenever we find ourselves giving up familiar, we come to this place of discomfort. And discomfort's okay. Even here in our practice today, discomfort's okay. It's pain that we don't want to experience in our bodies as we move through these practices. If you feel pain, I want you to pull back, but discomfort is something I want you to breathe into. Opposite side if you haven't already, and then slowly shifting yourself back to a neutral down dog, walking to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bow out. Inhale, bend the knees, roll yourself all the way up, hands come wide all the way toward the heavens. Exhale, hands to heart center. Let this be another check-in just for a moment. Notice the needs of your heart bubbling up. So we tend toward familiar, but we don't want to rush past when we have these opportunities to pause. Inhale, reach the hands high in your time. Exhale, take the thumbs together, take them wide like butterfly and hinge to the right. Inhale up, exhale, hinge to the left. Good. Inhale up through center. Exhale, hands come through the heart all the way back down to forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bow out. This time the left leg reaches back. Hips stay parallel, the foot is flexed and deeply active and alive here. Let it come back all the way to the floor. Setting yourself up so the right heel's in line with the right knee, and then inhale, come up to crescent lunge. Maybe you set that back knee down, maybe you don't. Your choice, your way. Be empowered to give yourself permission for what feels good in your skin today. Good. When you feel ready, go ahead and extend the left fingertips forward, the right fingertips back, shoulders peel away from the ears. Maybe the gaze comes over the back fingertips, maybe it doesn't. See, the tendency when we give up familiar is in the discomfort to believe that we feel stuck. But utilizing that breath, empowering your body to do what feels right, reminds you that you have choices and options. Coming back through center and then opening up into warrior two, blading the back foot. Shoulders away from the ears. Make sure that right knee is pressing back enough that you can see the right big toes. Settling in deeper to the knee, and then turn the palms up as you extend back, straighten the front leg, reach toward the heavens. Maybe a micro bend in that front knee, just protecting that stance here. Notice how your body feels. Does it feel strong? Does it feel vulnerable? Just observe, no shame, no judgment. Coming back through neutral, and then allow the right elbow to come to the top of the right thigh. Left hand reaches high, side angle. Maybe you allow the right fingertips to move toward the mat. If that's what your body's craving here. Giving your body what it's asking for in this space today. This is your practice. Weaving that left hand around, wimbling it down, coming back to that crescent lunge, and then stepping back through plank. Taking your vinyasa, so maybe you take a chaturanga, coming down through up dog, and then moving yourself back through that child's pose. So there's this verse in Joshua. And friends, the word courage is defined by Brené Brown as telling the story of who we are with our whole heart. Telling the story of who we are with our whole heart. That is courage. It's not easy, it's uncomfortable. It requires us to attune ourselves to our hearts, our minds, our bodies. It is courageous, and it is what we are called to. Shifting back up slowly and carefully into your down dog in your time, your way. Once again, coming through that same posture, we're going to twist it out so the feet are as wide as the mat. Just finding your twist here. Wide legs. Bending into the elbow to twist deeper with the exhale. Just feeling how it deepens with every time we do it. Bringing the feet back together, walking them toward the front of the mat, coming to forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bow out, forward fold. Bending the knees, rising all the way up, hands come last. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, we're going to come back up. Butterfly the hands, hinge to the left, open the right side body, shoulders away from the ears. Inhale up and exhale to the right. Inhale up, exhale, hands through heart center. Going to pick up the pace, but I want you to go to the rhythm of your breath. Inhale, halfway lift, exhale, bow out. Take it or leave it, any posture that doesn't feel right. It's your choice today. Right foot comes back, planted down, inhale, crescent lunge. Good. Go ahead and take the right hand forward, the left hand back. Maybe you gaze over the left fingers briefly, maybe not. Inhale, back up. This time open it up, warrior two, bending into that front knee, gazing over the front fingers here. Palms face up, inhale back, straighten that front leg. Feel your body lifting up out of your center, core body. Exhale, come back down, side angle, left hand either comes all the way to the floor, stays there on the upper side, right hand lifts. Coming around, slowly coming back through your vinyasa. So maybe you come through chaturanga. Maybe let the knees come down, elbows straight back as you come all the way down. Maybe coming through cobra or up dog. Exhaling back to downward facing. Good. We're going to flow right through the next side. So take your feet as wide as the mat. Take your left hand around the outside of the right leg. Bend the elbow. Open it up. Not easy. We're wringing out the discomfort of giving up, grieving the loss of what was familiar to us before this pandemic took over. Switching up our rhythms and our routines. Creating new patterns of normal that take a long time to get comfortable in. Walking to the top of your mat, inhaling halfway lift, exhale, bow out. Inhale, lifting all the way up, butterfly the fingers. Take the hands to heart center first. Inhale, back up, and then butterfly the fingers, hinge to the right. Inhale up, hinge to the left. So creating a little heat as we move just a little quicker in the body. Again, go to the rhythm of your breath. Exhale it all the way back down to forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bow out. Good. This time, the left leg reaches back, deep flexion in the foot. Be an active participant of your inner experience. Lift it up to crescent lunge. Inhale the hands high. Holding the posture, never the breath. Coming open, the left hand comes forward, the right hand comes back. Gaze over those fingers if you wish. Back up through neutral. This time we're going to open it up, blade the back foot, open the hands, come to warrior two, shoulders away from the ears, strong in the arms. Fingertips go open up and then hinge back, reaching with the right hand, straightening the front leg. Exhale, come back down, side angle, so the right elbow comes to the top of the thigh, maybe to the earth, left hand reaches high. Windmill the hands back down. Go ahead and frame that front foot and then come through your flow. So maybe you come all the way down. Inhale through up dog. Exhale all the way back. Child's pose. So take up rest, friends. Let this be your space for rest. Noticing the guarding of your heart here in child's pose. It's a little safer than some of the vulnerabilities that we've been engaging with as we open our heart and our bodies in different postures today. So for us to be strong, to be courageous, we're not just left alone in that. This verse speaks so loudly to that the Lord is with us wherever we go, in our stories and our courage. Staying here as long as you need, and then slowly bringing yourself around, coming to a comfortable seated posture, and then letting yourself onto your backs, bringing the knees to the chest, maybe rocking side to side. The rocking sensation is just so good. It soothes the body from the inside out. Good. So finding whatever posture kind of allows your body to just create a simple movement here, and then bringing the knees in, extending the heels high toward the heavens. Hands can come alongside your hips, palms facing down. I'm just going to point and flex the feet a few times. I just want you to feel the muscles in the feet. It's a place we often don't get to. Good, and then you're going to go ahead and you're going to take the right leg and you're just going to kind of pull it over in front on top, almost sitting cross-legged over the left. And then you're going to take the hands to the outside of the shins, maybe the bottoms of the heels if that's reachable for you. And then I want you to make sure you create a small arch in the low back, pressing the bottom of the glutes down to the mat so the back is engaged with the mat. And then you're going to kind of pull the feet apart as much as you pull the heels down. So kind of this, creating this space. You should feel a deep pull on the left hip here. Should feel uncomfortable. Again, we're going for discomfort, not pain. So I want you to notice if you feel pain, I want you to pull back. If it's discomfort, I want you to breathe in. So getting to these spaces that hold some of this grief, some of this loss of our familiar. And when you're ready, just let your hands come back out into a T position. And then you're just going to kind of swivel the legs down over to the left side. So that right foot comes down. The left foot comes down. And you swivel the hips to the left. Gaze over the right finger. So just engaging in this deep twist here, massaging the organs, bringing them back into this balanced space. Noticing what it looks like for you. What things are you grieving? Is it the freedom to go wherever you wish, whenever you wish? Is it clinging to a routine that was working well for yourself or your family? Coming out of that twist in your time, bringing the knees back into the chest, creating small circles, both directions. And when you're ready, sending the heels back high toward the heavens, really firing toward the feet here. Palms come alongside the hips. We're going to take that posture on the opposite side. So this time, the left leg crosses in front. The right leg crosses over the left, and you're going to just kind of gently reach for the outside of the shins, maybe the heels. And once again, kind of creating that small arch, allowing the glutes to come to the mat, pulling the legs away from each other and then down. Deep pull on the hip, wringing out some of the emotion, some of the pain, some of the loss. Not finding yourself fixed on will things ever look the same again, but rather staying present with the breath in this moment. Welcoming and inviting whatever emotion arises as you wring out these spaces of the body. When you feel ready, go ahead and take the hands into a T. Move that foot down to the mat, the right foot, and then shift the hips over to the right, gazing over the left fingers this time. So is it the loss of what your friendships looked like, the time spent? Some of these things are really valuable things. But there's also parts of us that maybe we were using to numb, that we've had to let go of and release. As we've hit this pause button, we've become really acquainted with the pain that we've been avoiding. Giving yourself space here to take any other postures that feel relieving to your body, maybe a happy baby, maybe something else. Just noticing the needs. Reclined butterfly if that feels good. The soles of the feet together, the knees wide. Giving yourself freedom of choice for a moment here. When it does feel right, maybe you allow the knees to come just about as wide as your mat, kissing in the center, relieving the low back. If that feels good to you, I want you to stay here. If you wish for something different, let the legs come long, the feet splaying open, the palms come alongside the hips, facing up. An act of surrender and also a place to receive. Releasing any expression from the face, any tension in the jaw by peeling away the tongue from the roof of the mouth, letting the jaw come naturally open and the breath moving back to normal and neutral, not labored in any way. Just taking in the stillness, the discomfort of the pause, and yet allowing yourself to grieve what was familiar. To tell the story of who you are with your whole heart as you grasp on to being strong and courageous. The Lord is with you wherever you go, with every breath, every movement, every grief, every loss. That He knows it and feels it even before we're aware of it ourselves. Knowing that you have a choice in this beautiful season of pause to come fully present, to experience life not just in the past or the future, but to experience it the way that it was intended in this moment, not letting this moment pass you by. You have choices. You're not stuck. Those moments where we feel alone, really vulnerable, that we have this Creator God by our side. Gently wiggling into the fingers and the toes when it feels right. Maybe the knees come into the chest, maybe the neck moves side to side if you're ready for more movement. Letting your body just come to one side, whatever side is intuitively right to you, into a fetal position. Maybe the bicep up by the ear, resting opportunity here. Maybe just coming back to something that was spoken today that you want to use throughout your day as your mantra, your theme. Using your opposite hand, pushing yourself up to a comfortable seated position. Taking the hands down by the hips, inhale, one sweeping inhale. Exhale, bring all of that courage back into your heart space. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, strong and courageous.